嗨，大家好，我是 Tom。低薪是目前一个算是全世界蛮重大的一个议题。青壮年世代还有大学刚毕业的社会新鲜人，都会面临到一个很大的，该怎么说呢？算是一种不确定性吧。就是不知道这个工作能做多久，或是哇，房子好贵，好像一辈子都买不起。好，就这种感觉，可能有时候真的会让人有一种，我这么努力要干嘛的感觉。我这么努力上班，然后我一辈子可能都买不起房子。未来也不是很确定，难免会有一些比较负面的那种，应该算是负面的情绪产生吧。现在台湾的话，我自己的观察是，感觉是有特定几个产业是收入高的。对当然要买房还是不容易，但是收入比起其他行业比来说，真的是高出很多的。但是这种行业毕竟也还是算少数，也就是说，大部分人其实没办法赚到那么多钱。不过这也不只是台湾。我相信全世界应该都多少有一样的问题，所以我今天一样打一通视讯电话给在英国伦敦的老朋友 Natalie 老师，看看英国是不是也跟台湾一样有这种问题。Natalie 老师和我应该都是属于所谓的青壮年世代那是不是在英国的青壮年世代，甚至社会新鲜人都跟台湾一样，面临这种好像怎么努力都赚不到钱的压力，还有对未来的不确定感？好，那一样这支影片一样会是以全英文进行，大家可以就当做练习听力，然后影片下方说明栏会有中英文文字稿可以下载，大家也可以下载来搭配一起练习。好，那我现在就来打视讯给 Natalie 老师。
Many young people,
yeah,
they feel pessimistic about their futures. They don't even get married. Some of them don't even go out.
Yeah,
because they feel insecure. And the reason why they feel insecure is because they don't make enough money. They don't have a guaranteed future. They think they might not be able to buy a house for their whole lives. Yeah, so it kind of created this negative atmosphere among people here.
Yes.
Is it the same there?
Definitely, I'd say same but different, right? It's the same results in the end. I think what's happening, especially to kind of our generation, and also future generations, is that we're losing the motivation to push ourselves to achieve, but we still experience the same pressure to achieve. So now our focus is more shifting to almost survival mode. So what's happening in the UK, and I can just speak for London. So what's happening in London is that it's a little different to the UK as a whole, just because we have a high amount of competition. We have a lot of people, so therefore a lot of competition, and a lot of internationals who also want to come and work in London because it's a metropolitan city. So what we experience now is that the salaries themselves aren't really a problem. The problem is that we have a lot of highly qualified and skilled people and not enough jobs. That's one problem that we have. So you can, there are cases where people who have a bachelor's degree, some even have a master's degree, and they have documented that they have applied for 900 jobs or more than that.
900?
Yes. And they can't get a single job. A lot of people are moving back into their parents' houses because they can't afford to live, basically. So that's the first problem we're experiencing here. The second problem that we're having is something called the cost of living crisis. So because of inflation and a lot of factors, for instance, rent in London, normally if you rent a room, not in the centre, so somewhere on the outskirts of London, so maybe it takes you 45 minutes to get into the centre, rent will cost somewhere like £900. And then you also need to pay bills. So normally your rent and just that base living costs about £1,000. And then transport is £200 a month on average. And that depends, of course, if you're working from home or not. And, groceries can be up to £300 a month. So just transporting yourself, living in one place and eating per month is £1,500. So it's very expensive. to live in London. And I think these are basically the two problems to summarize: the lack of jobs and how much competition there is. So how many highly skilled, highly qualified and educated people there are going for the same jobs, and there are less jobs. The second problem is the cost of living. So when you do have a job, life is just so expensive.
Wow, I think the second one is it's pretty similar to Taiwan.
The cost of living.
Yeah. Like for example, I'm in Kaohsiung, right, which is the southern part of Taiwan. But many people in the southern part of Taiwan, they try to go to Taipei to look for a job there, because Taipei is an international city and they have more opportunities there.
Yeah.
If I want to work for Google, I have to go to Taipei, right? I can't stay here. Yeah. So, but the rent and everything, like the daily expenses, are also so high in Taipei. If you just go there from Kaohsiung, you have to pay for all these things. Your income can barely cover these.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think another problem that our generation is facing, I think worldwide, but it's definitely happening in the UK, is it's more about finding a job that we think has security. But the problem is, in the ever-changing world that we live in with technology, no job feels like it has security anymore.
Yeah.
So some sectors within IT, you would think they would have jobs for life because they work in technology, which is ever evolving, but some are of course being replaced by AI. So a lot of people are also concerned about their income in the future. There's a lot of uncertainty financially for people who are trying to build their life in the UK. And I think that definitely stresses a lot of people out, this kind of, uncertainty.
So like in the past, for my parents, like that generation, for them, people should just find something you are good at, or just to learn a skill, and then you can just build a life from this skill, right?
Yes.
But it doesn't seem to work these days because of AI, because of this fast pace of the time, right?
Yeah, we're also experiencing a situation where everybody is meant to be chasing something and be achieving the best. If you look on LinkedIn and you look at all the posts from everybody, everyone's trying to sell themselves and say, look, I've achieved this. I've got this MBA and I did this, and I'm so proud of this, that I've managed to achieve that.
I also did that. So, make myself look like a superstar.
We all do, right? Because we're all part of the same thing, because there is a pressure to do it. So the idea is that, especially in more individualistic cultures, so especially like the UK, the US, Canada, you need to be unique. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you thinking differently? Did you start a project?
Yeah.
If you're just boring, quote, and start one career and just work in that one thing your whole life, people view that as like, wow, you're not that unique. You haven't achieved. What have you achieved? So there's definitely a lot of pressure in that regard, I'd say.
好，不知道大家看完这个影片有什么感想呢？大家会不会觉得这个时代真的面临很多的不确定性呢？ OK， 那如果有什么问题想要我跟 Natalie 老师讨论的话，可以在下面留言给我。那我们就下次再见。